And we're live.
We are. How you doing?
Hey, I missed you last week. Oh, they thought we were here last week. We weren't.
We always got to have something, right?
Yep. So, oh well, my ice is melted now. It's good they have more ice here. But anyway,
Good.
I've got me a little pitcher. I'm like stirring a witch's brew today.
Nom, 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 nom.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, I'm like playing with my stuff here because I'm trying to. How hot?
So, the reason we're doing today's show is, should we tell them? All right, the biggest thing, this is like one of Tim's favorite days every year. Other than talking Pirate Day and like my birthday and like Christmas, it's National Cheeseburger Day.
Is that not the coolest?
I know. It's like, I think that was one of the biggest highlights I had when we were going over our notes for this month was that like there was a Cheeseburger Day. Now, if only National Cheeseburger Day and National Vodka Day fell on the same day, we'd be good.
That would be just perfect.
It would. It would. So, but the other thing that we actually have and we had decided to put in this week, and I don't know if it's today or if it's this week, and that was National Punch Day. Right.
Right.
And we thought about a show that, like, if we were going to talk about punch on an alcohol show, we would have to talk about Spike and the Punch, right?
Yeah, of course.
All right. So, all right, Miss Goody Two Shoes on the show. Did you ever spike the punch at a high school thing?
No, I really didn't go to high school events. I had a very, very conservative, strict mama. I mean, I was shocked when I told her about prom and she actually allowed me to go. Mind you, I was 18 already by the time prom came around. But yeah, she made my dress. I paid for everything. I actually designed my dress. But yeah, she was a tough cookie, man. I didn't do shit unless it was with church or with the school. So yeah, no parties, nothing like that. Just didn't happen.
Because I can literally tell you, oops. It's a good thing I have like my squirty containers with the napkin nearby. That I remember going to high school functions, and now that I'm in my 50s, I'll say this. Yes, I was the guy who snuck something out of someone's liquor cabinet and spiked the punch.
Oh, shame on you.
I remember because it was some cheap $2 vodka that we put in there. And we thought we were cool.
I was going to say, you thought you were all cool. Of course.
Yeah. We weren't. All right.
Well, many years ago, what a friend called it was jungle juice. And so jungle juice just had all sorts of alcohol in it. It was just filled with so many things. So today, when we were talking about Cheeseburger Day, at first I thought, I'll just make my traditional, cheeseburger of what I would make. But I went gourmet this time because I thought, why the heck not pair gourmet with punch? I just thought that would be cool. And then I used the air fryer. So I made fries with the air fryer. And I didn't do anything special with the ketchup. I just did ketchup. But what I did do, my cheeseburger has 2 cheeses in it.
Okay. I was wondering if you were going to do that.
Yeah. So inside the meat, essentially it's my burger dressing, or seasoning, which is salt, pepper, garlic, onion, and paprika. Then I added Parmesan in the meat, and then of course the sharp cheddar from Tillamook, which is local. And I think it was Sargento's Parmesan that I put inside. I don't think it was Tillamook. Maybe it was. Let me look. I don't remember what. Oh yeah, it was Sargento. So I used Sargento's Parmesan cheese.
Yep, I have Sargento cheeses as well.
Yeah, and then what I did was, of course, bacon, because bacon, hello.
Yeah.
But then on top, this is caramelized onion. So it's not a sauteed onion. It is a caramelized onion. So saute is
There's a difference on that, because that is a cook's thing that most people, dummies like Tim, would get confused.
So there's a difference. So when you caramelize an onion, you're essentially sweating it. You put some salt, pepper on it, and you're good. It's just cooked. But when you caramelize it, you're actually changing its consistency. You're adding sugar to it. I actually added what I had left of a bottle of Heritage whiskey. You can add vermouth. You can add whiskey, really any alcohol that you want. Or you can add like a red wine vinegar, whatever you want in there. So it changes the consistency. This tastes better when you freshly made it. I knew I wasn't going to have time, so I've had to slowly but surely reheat it, because what happens is that you have to keep stirring it and stirring it, because otherwise the brown sugar will clump up and it could burn easily. So this is the caramelized onion, which, you can see the goo in there. It's like absolutely delicious goo that is in. It just has such a delicious flavor. Finger looking good. But this is I went, you know what, I'm gonna go gourmet, and where's my phone? The other thing that I did was an avocado crema. So I took an avocado, I added Greek yogurt and a little bit of sour cream, salt, pepper, lime juice, blended it, and then that was my my topping, if you will, or my burger. A lot of times I use like a Thousand Island type, either Thousand Island or one that I've made fresh. This time I went avocado. So this is like, if you can say gourmet, this is friggin' gourmet. I want to make this bigger so that I can get a beautiful picture that we can post online. I was going to make my own punch, but then I found yesterday Viva City cranberry flavored rum. It is a woman-owned distillery here in Oregon. So I'll give you some information on that, but I got to get a picture here because this is just cool stuff that I need to get. You know me and pictures. I got to get the pictures.
You're the picture taker on this whole show. I'm just the guy who does all the technical whamma-jamma first record. Anyway, so today I made a punch, all right, and I come up with a simple recipe for a punch. Now, I did not add my alcohol yet, but what I did with the punch was I went and got Kool-Aid Hawaiian punch flavor. It has to be the Hawaiian punch flavor. There's a million Kool-Aids. There's the strawberry, everything. And because I've got the Hawaiian punch flavor, I had to buy a 5-pack. I couldn't buy just a 1-pack. I had to buy a 5-pack, right? But hey, you don't make a punch without it. The only thing that I don't have for my punch that would really make it significant and that goes in every punch is you got to drop some sherbet in there. I didn't.
Yeah. Oh.
Didn't have any sherbet, and I didn't think about it until later this afternoon when I had too late to run to the store. And I'm like, you always take 2 scoops of sherbet and put it in the punch bowl. All right?
I do have sherbet, not here, but at the office.
At the office, yeah.
I have raspberry.
It's an additive to punch, right? But I didn't add my alcohol because there's so often when we're spiking the punch, we think of different alcohols depending on who you are, where you grew up at.
Right.
On average, everyone went with vodka.
Vodka.
Right? And I have some vodka here. I got my Dripping Springs, and of course, I still have some Crater Lake. I'm still keeping my stash, right? But I have some trick vodkas at my house, and one of them that we did in a drink, I want to say it's a little more than a year ago, that I still have it here, and I'm going to test it in some of my punch today, and that is a Pinnacle whipped cream vodka.
Oh, do I have it here?
I think you might have. I know I have whipped cream. You used it on a show last year, right?
So I do have it.
But we take out vodka. For those of people who don't do vodka, the other things people would spike a punch with would be rum. Everybody spikes rum, all right? There's so many rum drinks that are just like a spiked punch. The rum runners, things like that. which really makes it rum an interesting drink for your spiked punch. But you know, I do live in Texas, and very close to Texas, another very, very great spiking alcohol is made. I'm sure you know which one I'm talking about.
Besides moonshine?
Nope, I didn't even put moonshine on the list today.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wait a minute. I'm South. So what do you think I would get for
Mezcal? Tequila?
Tequila.
Yeah.
Tequila in a spiked punch, that salty and that sugary really puts together a funny blend. Have you tried that?
I have not.
All right. So that was going to be my first one. Then now I did hamburger. I'm not the guy who likes to go and get the hamburgers at the restaurant stacked with all this stuff. To me, there are 3 basics that go on my hamburger. 4 if I'm really in the mood. Number 1, well, 5 really. The number 1 cheeseburger, but we're doing cheeseburger anyway. But added to my cheeseburger, I only like lettuce, tomato, and onions. But if I'm really in a spicy mood, a fresh jalapeno.
Oh.
Fresh, not cooked, fresh.
Okay. Oh,
right?
okay.
Pull the seeds out because, man, if you don't, you better keep some water and some milk nearby.
Right.
Saying, because you don't know what spice level you're going to get until you crack into it. But I was going to do, I did think about doing just a burger with cheese, but I know you had a great note for today, and you talked about the 5 cheeses that Americans have on their burger, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I picked one of the 5, but I almost was going to bring 2 different kinds in like you did. But the 5 that are out there is American cheese, which I'm not doing American cheese on my burger. I'm sorry. As simple as I am, I'm not going that simple. Swiss cheese. I'm not really a Swiss cheese guy on a burger. I like Swiss on like a ham sandwich or a turkey sandwich.
Okay.
Yeah,
right. I wouldn't put Swiss on a burger. I've seen it, at restaurants, but that's not something I would want. Swiss just does not grab me that way.
Yeah. The other one you have in there was provolone. I can't tell you that I've ever done provolone cheese on a burger. I don't think I ever have, and that's probably the smallest amount of gap of people will put that on. You said 31%. 31%. But then the highest one that everyone says, second highest one everybody says is cheddar. I was going to do cheddar. I like cheddar on my burgers, right? But you already gave you the hint that I'm into spicy things. Come on. You know I'm going to do pepper jack.
I was going to say pepper jack.
I got me some pepper jack cheese sitting here. I still have an extra slice that I kept out here just to show you. It's just, and the other thing I do with my burgers is we get when we can find them. Is I love pretzel buns. Pretzel buns, man. Have you had a burger on a pretzel bun? It's just so much better.
Well, there's some people that it came out that is a donut cheeseburger. So it's a donut as the bread.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want alternatives, you can do a cheeseburger pizza or a cheeseburger sub. And today there's a lot of different restaurants or fast food that are doing specials. One of them is McDonald's, that you can get a double cheeseburger for 50 cents, but you have to use their app.
Yeah.
In order to do that. It's just today. So that's awesome. I almost
did that. I almost was going to go grab one.
I was thinking about, well, let me pair the McDonald's double cheeseburger with my gourmet burger. And then I'm like, I don't have time for it. Today was a busy, go day. So I didn't have time for that. So that's why I didn't, but I did consider it. But there's a lot of different specials going on where there's, buy one, get one free, or a 50-cent one or $1 one. So there's a lot of different things. But I wanted to do something, at home, and I wanted to do something close to what I would do on any given day. Now, I love doing sauteed mushrooms, sauteed onions. Again, lettuce, tomato, pickles. I love pickles. I always ask for extra pickles. This time I put no pickles, but it's because I have all these other flavors that I didn't think I needed them.
Yeah.
And this is absolutely delicious. Now, for the recipe, I got that from bestbeefrecipes.com. Of course, I had to make it my own, but this is absolutely delicious.
You also cooked your burger on your stove, right?
I did. I didn't want to deal with the barbecue today. Normally you would not mix a punch. Usually it's in a big punch bowl or in a pitcher, but this time, just because I'm making a small quantity.
Yeah.
There you go.
Brought the stirrer in. I didn't bring the shaker.
So what I did is that I had been letting it sit here. So I had originally bought pineapple juice, Dole pineapple juice, and of course Simply, because I love Simply orange juice.
Great orange juice.
And then I didn't want to use soda. So, but you need a little bit of fizz in there. So LaCroix, the lemon flavor. And then of course the cranberry flavored vodka, because I was going to get, I thought I had cranberry juice here and apparently I didn't. So you need a little bit of fizz. So I'm adding that as a topper.
I use ginger beer in mine instead of soda.
Actually, the funny thing is that was my thought, was ginger beer. Do I want ginger beer? So that was an option, which I do have here. And that's actually, it calls for a little bit more cranberry in there. I think I let it sit a little too long, so it diluted just a wee bit. But it's usually 2-to-1. So I did 2 cranberry, 1 orange, 1 pineapple, and then topped off with the LaCroix. But I think that the ginger beer would have been really good too.
So I'm currently doing the mix with
tequila.
Tequila first. And sorry, I just got something in one of my teeth that I just can't get out. Anyway. I did it with tequila first. Now, because I didn't use a lot of sweetener, it is almost like and I used ginger beer, not ginger ale. I didn't use this because I didn't use a sugary soda. It's got a nice enough twist to it that it's like a Hawaiian punch margarita. Truthfully.
I like that idea.
But before we do that, I'm going to switch back to one thing on the burgers. All right. Are you a mustard on your burger, or are you a mayonnaise on your burger?
I will do mayo and ketchup, or I'll do Thousand Island. I don't put mustard on my burger. Actually, I used to not use mustard on a lot. I'd cook with it, but I wouldn't use it as condiment. But now I can tolerate mustard. I can eat it, especially if it's a hot mustard or a horseradish mustard. But on my burger, nope. Stone ground, yeah. I do like stone ground, just not on my burger. I don't know.
On beef, I'm not a fan of it on beef. I do like it on my hot dogs, even beef hot dogs. But one thing that I do, I didn't put mayo. I didn't bring mayo in here tonight. Instead, I did something else. I usually do mayo, and I add this other thing to it. And that is, I always have a bottle of this. Arby's horsey sauce. Always have Arby's horsey sauce for my burgers at home. One of my favorite things to have on a burger. How is it going, my girl?
All the flavors. So even though there's sugar in the onions, it has a slight sweetness, but it's not sweet.
Oh.
Then you got the salty from the bacon, from the cheeses, because there's 2 cheeses there. And then you got the freshness from the avocado crema. You got the lettuce that's crispy and another freshness to it. Then you got the tomato that it's a delicious tomato from Dinnerly. So that was a Dinnerly thank you. And it just has such a great flavor put together. And then with the punch, it's just very refreshing. Very refreshing. And so I'm pretty happy how this came out. I really am. So I do want to bring a little bit of information on Vivacity. You'll have to look online to see if they will ship to your state. But it is here in Albany. It's about 50 minutes to an hour from where I am,
Mhm.
which would make it about an hour and a half from Portland south. And they first started with vodka, like a lot of distillers do, because vodka you can process a lot quicker. But they can boast that it's the first woman-owned craft distillery in the Willamette Valley. And so now it's Caitlin Pruitt and her partner and spouse, Chris Newman, are the two that own and operate Vivacity Distillery in Albany. And she had extensive knowledge, Caitlin did, on fermentation sciences because she went to Oregon State, go Beavs, and working with wineries, breweries, and lab settings. So doing a micro distillery, she's like, hey, hello, I can do this. And so she has a lot of extensive experience with it. And she wanted to try something new. And it's always about what's going to work well, and who, is our customer going to like it. And so they take great pride in their formulas and in their craft, and they try everything to use local everything, so local cranberries, local what have you. And so this particular one is it's infused with Oregon cranberries, oranges, and a touch of raw sugar. And then this one is 27.5% alcohol by volume, 55 proof. And it was a little different. I didn't know what to think about, like cranberry flavored rum, and I tasted it after I did a half marathon yesterday at Willamette Valley Half. They had a wine event, but there was some. This was a distiller that was there. There was some wineries and some breweries, some ciders, and this is what I bought. This is the only thing that I bought there. And it was just very different. And I said, this is going to be on my podcast. So Paul, who was there, did a wonderful tasting. I think it was like 8 of us, and he's explaining to 8 of us, this is this. And he's giving us the history, what it's all about. And then we got to taste it. So he did a wonderful job. And he said, thank you for buying it, because this little bottle is supporting 9 staff,
Wow.
here in Oregon. So support local. So that's my spiel on that. So I thought that was kind of cool. So back to Cheeseburger Day, because that's why we're here for Cheeseburger. Besides is the history that went through. So there's a history. So first, White Castle, 1921. That's when everybody's like, oh my goodness, in Wichita, Kansas. Then in 1926, a teen was working at his dad's sandwich shop. And there's 2 stories. One, that he decided to experiment and put cheese on the burger. The other one was that a homeless person gave him the idea to add cheese. At any rate, cheese was added to the burger. And in 1926, that's when the cheeseburger was created. Mm-hmm. Then in 1928, there was a restaurant in Odell that was charging 25 cents for a cheeseburger. And then in 1935, the year my mama was born, there was this drive-through restaurant or joint, if you will, in Denver, Colorado, that tried to trademark cheeseburger. Yes. And they were said, nope, you cannot trademark cheeseburger. And then in 1977 is when Grubble, McDonald's, they paid $1 million in damages to the TV producers Sid and Marty Krofft, who claimed that McDonald's Mayor McCheese was direct rip-off of HR Puff and Stuff characters. So yeah, $1 million. So there's a lot of history behind cheeseburgers, and now it's just the love of cheeseburgers, because when you add that little piece of cheese, and for years I would not eat a cheeseburger, I wanted a hamburger. But when you put a good piece of cheese on your burger, oh my goodness, it makes a world of difference. Mm-hmm. Having a delicious sharp, and this is a sharp cheddar. So I wanted something with a little bit of substance. So that was something that I like. So do you always put pepper jack on yours, or do you switch it around?
If I'm cooking at home, I prefer pepper jack on it. I have done cheddar. The other ones, as I said, I've hardly ever done them. It's pepper jack or cheddar for me. Mm-hmm. So Now talk about sides, because to me, I did not do a side. Why? A burger by itself is a meal to me. That's just me. I've told my story many times. Most people know that 2005 to 2007, I went through a period of my life where I was homeless. And I actually lived off of $1 McDouble cheeseburger for lunch, a McChicken sandwich, and then at dinner time, I had $1 McDouble at McDonald's and a McChicken sandwich for dinner. And my meals would cost me $2.24 with tax in Texas. And that was twice a day. So I ate for under $5 a day for over 2 years. I've always loved the cheeseburger. It is my favorite food. I will eat a hamburger, but I prefer a cheeseburger. I've always loved, I remember as a child, Wimpy from Popeye.
Oh, yeah. I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. That was you.
Yep. And a couple years ago, gosh, almost 8 years ago now, I was interviewed by actor Dean Cain on one of Craig's podcasts, Dean Cain. And Dean asked me my favorite food, and I had a brain fart and couldn't think. And I said Italian food, not cheeseburger. Since then, I've admitted to the mastermind that was the one thing when you don't have your podcast prepped. That's why Gladys gave me a whole series of notes of what she was going to cover today, because we prep our podcast, right? We had the recipe laid out. I didn't prep that day, and I went brain mind, and I just. But yeah, that is the one that I admit.
Didn't he recently move to Texas, or last year? Did he move to Texas? Was it Texas I moved to, or was it Arizona? I knew he moved out of California.
I think Dean moved to Vegas.
Oh, it was Vegas? Okay.
Yeah, Dean moved to Vegas. Craig lives in Texas.
Okay. I had a feel. For some reason I thought Dean had moved to either Arizona or Texas. I couldn't remember. But yeah. But yeah, for me it would normally be, Mexican food is my go-to, just because it's easy for me to whip up Mexican food. But a good cheeseburger is like, oh my goodness, it's so easy to make and very inexpensive. And you want a good ground beef. This one is a chuck, a brisket, and a sirloin. So it's a mixture of 3 different meats put together. I did cheat a little because I was going to go buy all the different ground beefs and bring it together, which would have been pricey. But then I found this little pack that already had the burger patties already made, and it had all of it. And I said, that's exactly what I want. So I bought that. And then of course I took the patty and I did my own thing, did my seasoning, added my cheddar, redid everything. So I undid it. And so it was this imperfect, not so round kind of, and it came out beautifully. The color on my burger is like just the way I like it. I like it when it comes to burger. So I love a medium rare steak. That's my go-to steak. But when it comes to burger, I prefer a medium. That's my preferred, just because it's a burger. A steak, I don't mind the juices coming out, but with a burger, it's so different. I want to cook just a little bit more. So a medium for me, and it came out medium. And this was absolutely
pink in the center of mine.
Yeah. So one thing to note when you're having caramelized onions, I think I cooked it a little too long because the recipe called for like 15 to 20 minutes, and I thought that was too long. I was going to pull it out sooner, but I was trying to follow the recipe, and then I was like, you know what? No, this is still too long. So I pulled it out, and so when it cooled down, it all clumped up. So I had to slowly but surely reheat it in the microwave to get it nice and pliable. But when it gets cool, it's not as soft. So you really, when you do caramelized onions, you really want to eat them immediately. You don't want to cool them down and have them the next day, because they will be a little bit more crunchy. It'll take a little bit of a second, and you might get little clumps that just kind of, might
You
stick
don't
in your
want to.
teeth.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So now I have switched and did a second one, and I did the whipped cream vodka in this one.
Mhm.
This has got a little a nice little sweetness to the sweet aftertaste to it, unlike your tequila salty aftertaste.
I think if you had sherbet in it, the whipped cream would have just gone boom together with that.
Yeah, that is the one thing this punch is missing, is some sherbet. A good lime sherbet or orange sherbet.
Oh, lime. See,
Yeah,
I would have thrown in maybe raspberry is what I think I would have put in.
I could have done raspberry. I could have done, but I would think either lime or orange is what I would go for first.
Yeah, lime sounds good because it's going to be very refreshing. You get a citrus in there.
Mm-hmm.
If I was at the office, I would have just gone over to the fridge, gotten the sherbet, and thrown it in here. And I think that would have added a little something, something.
Mm-hmm. So your sides, you actually made some French fries, which is the known thing that everybody has with a burger, with a cheeseburger, right? We all have those French fries, but for those of us who don't like that filling, what is the second favorite that I get this a lot when I go get a burger is
Coleslaw,
oh no,
salad.
that's when I want to be healthy.
Oh, so I will normally, if I go to Red Robin,
Mm-hmm.
because when I want a good burger, I usually go to Red Robin. Because some of the upscale restaurants, they do have a good burger, but for the price, you know what? Red Robin does have a good burger. I usually have a salad and with Thousand Island dressing on the side. And Red Robin, just like their fries, their sides are all you can eat. So if you want another salad, they will get you another salad. If you
Mm-hmm.
want more broccoli, they'll get you another broccoli or coleslaw. So I usually do either fries or salad, but sometimes I will do coleslaw.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, being out here, for whatever reason, a lot of restaurants have tater tots.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know why, but tater tots is an option, or chips in some of the bar foods. So are you going with a potato salad then?
I've done a potato chip.
Okay.
However, here in Texas, a lot more people are coming out with sweet potato fries.
Oh yeah, that's extra. It's like $2 extra out
Yeah,
here
yeah.
for sweet potato fries. Mhm.
But like I've had a lot of times where I have a burger, I'll have a salad. But to me, going out to a restaurant, my test as to whether it's a good restaurant is their burger. If their burger is bad, usually a lot of other things on their menu not as good, right? And that's just always been my thing. I love fast food burgers. I've always loved McDonald's. They are a favorite. I really like Burger King, but like I can't do Burger King as much as I used to. Their quality of food is just not there anymore. Their flavor
Right.
was great when we were a kid, but their quality is not as good. McDonald's, the quality is still fairly the same. Yeah, it is
See,
so
for me,
consistent.
it was Carl's Jr. That was always we're taking a step up. We're going to Carl's Jr. That was a treat to go to Carl's Jr. And Carl's Jr. over the years has changed. They are not the same. They're not the same Carl's Jr. from 1990 something, and definitely not from the 80s. It's changed their quality.
Yeah.
It's still okay, but it's not the same. So no, McDonald's has been and will continue to be the same no matter where you're at. And I do appreciate that. And I actually, speaking of McDonald's, um, pre-COVID, some of the ladies from the gym and I, every month, we would go to somebody else's home, and whoever was hosting would decide what the menu was going to be. So sometimes we would bring in something, or sometimes we just help prepare it. But one of the things that I learned from Fairburg was a salad. So it was a Big Mac salad.
Oh yeah.
So you got the shredded lettuce, you got the ground beef made with all the tomatoes and everything. Then you had the shredded cheese, the onions, the pickles, and then you could have croutons if you wanted instead, and then the Thousand Island dressing. And it is absolutely delicious. That was like, oh my goodness, this is the Big Mac salad. I love this. This is really good. So I do like that. And I do remember, well, back in 2015, I stopped going through drive-throughs.
Yeah.
For me, I'm like, I'm not doing a drive-through. If it's that important to me, I'm gonna park, get my tush out of the vehicle, and walk inside. I
Yes.
will not do a drive-through. And after COVID, or still COVID 2021, um, Sean needed or wanted a cheeseburger because he wasn't feeling well, wanted a cheeseburger. And so I go to the McDonald's and they only have drive-through. And I'm like, seriously? So I got in the drive-through and I'm like kicking and screaming because I'm like, I don't do drive-throughs, but it wasn't for me. So I said, you know what? Just go through the drive-through, get him his Big Mac, which I did. That was the only thing I bought was the Big Mac. And then when it's like, here you go. But that was like I was twitching because I'm like, I don't do drive-throughs.
Yeah, I hate drive-throughs. I've always hated. I remember working for Starbucks, having to go through the drive-through to experience it, and it was like, I hate it. And even during the pandemic, I hated it. I would like send my wife down to get my coffee. I would not do the drive-through. I hated the drive-through. Finally, I convinced them. The Starbucks I worked for, I finally convinced them to walk to the door with mine, and they would. But let's go into more things on the cheeseburger. Over the years, I have loved, the cheeseburger. McDonald's was always my favorite, but over the years, I found restaurants that were just like, I want to say fast food, but like a step above your McDonald's fast food, right?
Mm-hmm.
To me, In-N-Out Burger and Whataburger here in Texas are two that are they're fast food as well, but they're like just a step better than McDonald's or Burger King, right? They're a better quality meat. They're a better quality products, right? And a little bit extra tastes. They have a lot more quality, a bigger recipe or bigger menu to do things with, right? Well, In-N-Out doesn't. In-N-Out has a very simple menu, but there's a lot of secret things you can do at In-N-Out.
I was going to say
that most people don't know about. And that's where I learned to get a burger without a bun. Wrap it in lettuce.
Protein style.
Yeah.
Protein style. They will wrap your burger in lettuce. Red Robin will do that.
Mm-hmm.
They will wrap your burger in lettuce, and it just has this crispiness that is absolutely delicious. The thing is, if you get it animal style, it's a little bit messier than your regular burger because usually the burger bun will absorb a lot of those juices from both the meat as well as the sauteed onions with the mustard and whatever else they put in there. I know there's mustard in there, whereas the lettuce will not.
Yeah.
So if you don't have it nicely wrapped underneath, it will drip. So keep that in mind if you get it, and it is protein style.
Yeah.
So that means no bun. And then if you get the animal style, I don't usually get animal style fries, but I will always get animal style burger. Mm-hmm. And in my opinion, that makes In-N-Out Burger a heck of a lot better than Whataburger. Sorry, Whataburger.
So I'm sorry. Even though I'm a Texan, I love In-N-Out better than Whataburger.
And then you can also get a Neapolitan milkshake.
Mm-hmm.
So you do not necessarily need to get vanilla strawberry chocolate. You can get a Neapolitan. And I don't know if it's on the menu or not. You can get a grilled cheese too.
Yeah. But Whataburger has a Dr. Pepper milkshake. Just saying. Some more things that I've done over the years with hamburger is I remember I worked for Roy Rogers when I was in my early 20s, late teens, early 20s, a part-time job. When I was married to my first wife, my daughter was born, a baby. I worked nights. I would work days at my day job, and then I would go work nights several nights a week at a Roy Rogers to have extra money. Well, Roy Rogers had a policy at the time, and especially our owners of our franchise had a policy, and it was okay for us to take home the leftovers that weren't sold at the end of the night. So fried chicken and burgers is what they were known for. We would take the burgers and I would take the burgers and the chicken home, and I would take the bag and just take the bag and put it inside the refrigerator when I got home. We were so broke at the time trying to make ends meet that my wife at the time would get up the next morning, peel all the chicken off the bones, chop it up, and freeze it. Pull all the burgers, take all the buns off, take all the cheese off, and just get down to the burgers and chop up the meat. We then bought bread, and we would make chicken salad sandwiches. That was my lunch at my job every day, chicken salad sandwiches, because we had tons of it, right? All we had to do was buy mayonnaise, celery, salt, pepper, and bread. And then we bought macaroni and cheese, and we mixed that with the burgers, and we would have almost like a hamburger helper for dinner every night. That survived. Again, I mean, I've gone through some broke times where hamburgers were always the staple that got me through.
Wow. So you would think that most people would just dislike burgers or burger meat. And for you, it's very nostalgic that so I just on Friday, I got to meet the Ricardo. He's the one that came up with the flaming Cheetos. And one of the things that he says, you need to remember where you came from. You need to remember the things that you've gone through, because the things that you've gone through are going to propel you where you have propelled you to where you are, and will propel you to where you're going. You can't let your past dictate your current situation or your future. You have to be inspired, and you have to remember. And so it was like one of those things that I'm like, oh my goodness, it took me back to when I was getting my master's, and somebody says, oh, well, when you grow up in East LA, that's all you know, you're going to stay there. And I looked at her, and in class, I said, well, that's BS. But I fully said it, and everybody just stopped and looked at me. And I was like, you know what? I grew up in East LA, and I knew that's not where I was going to stay. I did everything I needed to do to get out of that situation. I knew I could do better. I said, I did, as soon as I had the opportunity, left the area. And it's like, I'm not going to live there again. I'm not going to be in that impoverished area anymore, even though there was worse areas than East LA.
Yes.
And I didn't have it that bad, truly, just because the neighborhoods, the little pockets of neighborhoods were okay. They were not too bad. But man, I grew up in a lot of poverty. I mean, growing up, showering outside, doing dishes outside. It was rough. Food is one thing that I will say we were never lacking. We would give up all the other things because mama made sure that food was important. I guess that's why I love food, and I appreciate food, and I love cooking, because it's with what we had, what can we do with what we have? And how do we turn leftovers into a new meal? So that's like where I learned that once you make chicken soup, then you can make enchiladas or tacos or a chicken salad, afterwards, or whatever you want to do. Or like you and your wife did, at the time, it's turn it into chicken salad or turn it into hamburger helper with pasta. It's, you just figure out how to make do. And so this is, I think, for you, a reminder of those times, and going, you know what? We made it through. This is now you get to appreciate it in a different realm. So that's cool.
I think what it is I don't ever think I learned to hate the cheeseburger because or hamburger. I always loved hamburger. So I've now mixed. So I've done the third mixture. I know I didn't drink all that. I just sipped it down a little bit and I mixed. So you guys know I'm not loading myself with different alcohols. I'm tasting. The third one now, I've moved on, and I'm going to do a little bit of rum. And let's taste this one right now. This is the spike punch we had growing up. And I have a white rum. I don't have a dark rum. I have a white rum. So
yeah, I would think a white rum would go better than a dark rum, is my thought. And I will say, normally, when fries have been sitting for a little bit, I'm like, McDonald's fries hold. Other fries, like In-N-Out fries, In-N-Out fries, I know they're fresh. They don't last very long.
Nope.
Once it's like a certain 15, 20 minutes and they start getting all soggy.
If
And
you
I'm like,
no,
I'm done.
if at In-N-Out, if you eat all your fries first and then go to your burger won't taste as good. If you eat your whole burger first and then go to your fries, you can finish about 1/3 of the fries, and then it's like, I don't want the rest. Every time. McDonald's, all right. I have to. It is the one fry. All right, and I'll eat most of my fries, by the way, without ketchup. It's that last 1/3 I eat with ketchup, but first 2/3 I eat by themselves. McDonald's, I can eat the whole box of fries at McDonald's without ketchup.
So normally I eat one fry at a time. I'll put ketchup on one fry at a time. McDonald's, 2, 3 fries. Oh,
yeah,
2, 3 fries. I remember getting a hamburger Happy Meal, burger, fries, and a little drink with the toy. And man, that was like the most delicious lunch. I used to love that for $1.99. Now I think that's like $5. But yeah, that's the one thing. Well, I made these in the air fryer, threw them in there, olive oil, a little bit of salt, threw them in the air fryer for 15 minutes at 380. I need a little bit of more crispy the way I like them. So I left them in for a few more minutes. It was like maybe 5 minutes, maybe not. It was when Tim came on. So we still had a few more minutes. And then once we were going to get on, I tossed them out. You can always add a little bit of chili powder on top, a little bit of paprika. But for me, just basic olive oil and a little bit of salt. Perfect. I did not add any more salt on top of it. It was just the original salt that I used to put them in the air fryer.
Onion salt or onion powder?
Oh, I hadn't thought about onion powder.
Yeah, I do. Like if I'm cooking my burgers, I didn't today. Usually I will sprinkle an onion salt or an onion powder on my burger when I'm cooking it. Oh, and that is one of the secrets of McDonald's burgers, by the way. It's onion salt they put on.
Really? I did not know that. The secrets are all coming out.
I have investigated the secrets. When it comes to hamburgers, I have investigated the secrets over the years.
All the secrets. I need more lettuce on this. I'm like that particular. I like that crispiness.
I have finished all my food here, which I typically have done lately, because I started making smaller amounts of food for our podcast than I used to do. Whereas that way, when Gwen comes home and in about 40 minutes, I can still eat dinner. Some of dinner anyway. But so interesting. This is just an interesting podcast because really, I love cheeseburgers. I love hamburgers, and I'm kind of glad we did this today. All right. It has been this has been a very, very interesting thing because it's just a plain Jane food, but it is a food. This is the first time I think we've ever done a hamburger, just a cheeseburger on the show. Right. And it's one of my favorites. So I'm unique that we married it with punch. And I meant to look on the calendar as to which day was National Punch Day, and I just didn't. I do know that today is National Cheeseburger Day. And one of the things we've been doing with our shows over the last couple of months is we've gone off the National Day calendar. Our friend Cindy Lee gave us a copy of it, to which it got us engaged. I think we got engaged with it was when we were doing I think we were doing like beer on Margarita Day or something once, and we got scolded. We should be doing the right things on the right days. But anyway,
I know. You know what? We do what just comes natural. If something is grabbing us, or if we've just come across something, like, I got to try it. We got to bring it on. I got to, that's the way we roll. We want to stay up to date with the things that we're coming across. That's important. But the national calendar has brought us to be very specific. There's this and then there's that. And that makes it kind of fun because then it's, in this case, what are we going to put with the cheeseburger? So it makes it fun. Sometimes we pair the food with the drink, and other times the drink with the food.
Yeah.
All depends on what's coming up. So this was a fun one. I ate all of it. I'm done. Poke me with the fork. I am done.
Yeah. Well, if you have just a cheeseburger, here's the sign. I go to some places where they have the big cheeseburger, and I'm not into a big one. To me, a 1/4 pound cheeseburger is the biggest I want to eat. Right? That's as big as I want to go. Right. And that quarter-pound cheeseburger, usually I'll do that with a side, and I still have some room in my stomach, so I can have a dessert. I can have an ice cream or something if I want. But it's when I cram myself with a side and cram myself with a larger burger with everything onto it. Well, then I don't
Yeah.
want to eat anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm full, and I hate being full. And we
Yeah,
did.
you gotta be comfortable, satiated without feeling like, oh
Yeah.
my goodness, I ate way too much.
Because I
I
would eat a
mean,
burger for lunch, and a burger for lunch will make me tired in the afternoon if I eat too much.
mm,
The other thing I've learned
well,
is if I have to have a big one, like if the restaurant I'm going to has a big burger, I do it with the lettuce and without a bun. Then the bread
okay,
doesn't
yeah,
break down too. That's the other thing is
yeah.
why I've done it that way.
Well, with one of my friends, what she does is that when she gets a burger at a restaurant, she
Mhm.
will remove the top bun and keeps the bottom bun, and then eats it with a fork and knife. So
Yeah.
she cuts it up and eats it, but she's still getting the burger. She's still getting half the bun. So she's just getting rid of the top bun
Yeah.
because the whole bun, she's going to feel, ugh, but just with the half a bun, that's the perfect amount for her. And then if she has fries, if she decides to have fries, she doesn't eat all of them. It is okay to not eat all your fries. Like I cut up a whole potato. I only fried half the potato, and I actually ate all of them. And I don't normally eat fries, but this was an air fryer, so it wasn't deep fried.
Mhm.
The other thing that I will do sometimes is that I'll chop them up into little circles, rounds, and then make them almost like a chip. But again, it's in oil. This time, air fryer cooked it up beautifully.
Uh,
So different things that you can do to not over splurge, but still enjoy what you're eating because you got to like the way you eat just like as much as you have to like the way you drink.
exactly. So yeah. And there's tons of food ideas that we haven't done, but the burger is like the center to what we've done. And there's so many things as we've gone through that we don't. I mean, that we've had so many different versions of burger. You know what I
Right.
mean? I like, I've had burger on toast. I've had burger on English muffins. I've had burger on, what I mean? We talk about some people did burger with
Yeah,
donut, right? I've had burger without
right,
the bun, right? And
right.
that's the cool thing about a burger is a burger can be eaten so many different ways. All right. It's mind blowing. So
Yeah. Yeah. Keto friendly means no bun.
mhm.
You can make a keto friendly. So whether you call it protein style, keto friendly, no bun, whatever you want to call it, it just means less carbs, and that's okay. Eat your burger the way you like it. You got to enjoy it. And if it means that you have it, some people will wrap it in a tortilla, whatever works for you.
Granted, I have the chopped up
That was
meat
me
in a
growing up.
taco, but a hamburger and a taco in a tortilla shell can be done.
Yep. It's what's your preference.
It is. It is. So anyway, an interesting show this week. All right. I'm so glad we got to do that before we get ready to wrap up. Of course, we will mention that we do have an insiders club. Yeah.
We do.
So do you want to do the sales pitch for the insiders club this week or should I?
I will let you because I got to do it last time.
Okay. So our Insiders Club is done, ladies and gentlemen. We actually have a place where we actually connect with you. All right. Private tastings. We have options to come out there for other drinks and stuff, alcohols that are being made, parties that we will invite you to, things like that. It is free to join everything that we invite you to. All right. If there's a cost involved, all right, that's where the cost is. All right. So just because you're in the Insiders Club does not mean you're going to get a bottle of gin for free. I'm sorry. That's where the cost comes in. But we designed it so that we can connect with people like you, all right, in a private setting and get to know your drinking preferences, all right, and do private. We're going to do some private virtual parties, things like that, as well as on location stuff where you get to invite to be part of the show. Gladys, currently you have what, 2 alcohols being made?
So there is, yeah, three. A whiskey and a gin that are 10 months old, maybe 11 at this point. I got to check. And then a rye that just got put in the barrel a couple of weeks ago. And so that won't be ready for another 10 months. The rye is a smaller batch. The other 2 are a larger batch. So I'll be able to get about 22 or so bottles out of the gin and the whiskey, and about 10 to 12 bottles out of the rye. So it just depends. And so the rye is
and
being
insiders they get that. All right. And the earlier members on the Insiders Club get the first bid. So if you're the last person to join, if you're person number 11 to join, and we only had 10 bottles, next batch.
I'm so sorry.
But
and
anyway,
you do have the opportunity to come to the state of Washington and take part in the next barrel that will be made. You will get to do the mash. You will get to do hands-on, spend a day with the owner of Quartz Mountain Distillers to go through the experience. It is absolutely amazing. When I got out of there, I was like, oh my goodness, this isn't what I expected. It was a lot of work, but you know what? I absolutely loved it.
Mhm.
And he says, yeah, bring on whomever you want. He goes, we will do it next time. So I'm like, yay. So that would be you, those that are part of the Insiders Club. You get to be part of that if you want to.
Cool. So other than that, this show is brought to you every week by our businesses. We sponsor this. We put it on. We take care of the expenses to make this show happen every week. All right. And without our businesses, this show would not be possible. So as always, we got to talk about our sponsors first. Ladies first.
Hello, everybody. Gladys Boutwell, Insurance by Design. I help small businesses attract and retain quality staff. There are 101 different ways that you can provide benefits to your staff. If you go to insurancedesignpros.com, on the upper left-hand corner, there is a little spot where you can download the white paper that shows you the 101 different ways that you can provide benefits. Some are free, some are, high end, but there's that everything in between that you might not even realize the type of benefits that you are giving your staff. So it's all about their entire benefits package, which includes everything that you give them. It could be maybe a reimbursement for their education. It may be dental insurance. It might be a 401k or a simple IRA. All of those things are part of their benefits packages. And guess what? Some of these are tax-free to the employee, and some of them are tax deductible or pre-taxed when they do payroll. So that means less payroll taxes being paid. Sorry, IRS, we're following the rules. So go to insurancedesignpros.com and I will help you answer those questions. And this is my co-host.
Hey guys, my name is Tim Gillette. I have Simple Easy Marketing. I created a thing called Simple Easy Websites, a design to get your website up and going for low cost, just for small businesses, coaches, speakers, things like that. People who need, and I'm going to sneeze. Stop it, Tim. It's tickling. Anyway.
Nope.
Yeah. Small businesses, coaches, speakers, things like that. I help get your website up and going, help you get on the web and get going real fast. All right. Simple, easy websites. Go check us out.
Thank you all for being here today. We appreciate you. Keep following us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out. Follow us. Share with your tribe, your people. If you like what you've heard, if there's any information that you've learned, please subscribe and like us and share. We appreciate you all.
We love our subscribers. We love our insiders. We love you all. And we do this every week. We will be back next week with a really, really fun one.
Yep.
Just saying. We're not even going to tell you. You got to come next week to find out.
It's going to be yummy.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, have a great week. Thanks for go out and get you a cheeseburger today and enjoy National Cheeseburger Day. I'm Tim Gillette, and I'm out.